Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, and council members. My name is Chelsea Ballot, and I am a Deputy City Attorney with the City Attorney Office. And this is a presentation on the resolution of intent for an ordinance granting the renewal of the Crimson California Pipeline LP franchise agreement to operate and maintain a pipeline for the transportation of petroleum products under, along, and across Harbor Boulevard. The recommendation is that the City Council adopt a resolution of intent to set a public hearing to introduce an uncodified ordinance granting the renewal of the Crimson California Pipeline LP franchise agreement to operate and maintain a pipeline for the transportation of petroleum products under, along, and across Harbor Boulevard. The Public Works and Transportation Committee approved this item 3-0 on April 9th, 2024. On May 5th, 1981, the City of Oxnard, by Ordinance Number 1869, granted to Union Oil Companies California, or UNICAL, the right to lay, maintain, and operate 2,017.5 linear feet of 8-inch pipeline along Harbor Boulevard in Oxnard for a period of 40 years. In January 1992, UNICAL transferred its rights to UNICAL California Pipeline Company, or UNICAP. The city formally agreed to the transfer of all rights, title, and interest in the franchise from UNICAL to UNICAP on April 4th, 2000. Thereafter, on February 1st, 2005, UNICAP merged with ConocoPhillips Pipeline Company, or Conoco, and the city formally consented to the transfer of all rights, title, and interest in the franchise from UNICAP to Conoco on April 5th, 2005. Then, in 2008, Crimson California Pipeline Company, or Crimson, purchased the pipeline assets from Conoco, which included the franchise. On December 16, 2008, the City Council consented to the bill of sale transferring the pipeline assets from Conoco to Crimson. The 40-year franchise initially granted to UNICAL and now held by Crimson was set to expire in June 2021. Crimson contacted the city in a letter dated November 4th, 2019, formally requesting that the franchise be renewed for an additional 10 years. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic and staff transitions within Crimson and the city, the renewal was not completed before the franchise expired. However, Crimson continued to pay the city for the franchise in 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024 in accordance with the franchise agreement. This uncodified ordinance renews the 40-year franchise for an additional 10 years, granting Crimson the ability to operate and maintain the existing pipeline currently in place along Harbor Boulevard near the McGrath and Mandalay generating stations. The subject pipeline along Harbor Boulevard, line 830, is part of the Line 600 pipeline system, which is made up of multiple pipelines that transport crude oil to the Crimson Ventura Take Farm outside of city boundaries. The pipeline is active and exclusively transports crude oil. The Line 600 pipeline system includes approximately 100 miles of pipe, 3 tanks with over 200,000 barrels of storage capacity, and a crude oil truck unloading facility. The pipeline along Harbor Boulevard is considered a gathering pipeline, meaning it transports crude oil from a facility that extracts crude oil from the ground. During the April 9th Public Works and Transportation Committee meeting, committee members had questions about the pipeline's history, maintenance schedule, and Crimson's leak detection and repair procedures. A Crimson operations staff member will attend the April 30th and May 21st City Council meetings to answer these questions. Crimson makes annual payments to the city for the franchise. The payment amount fluctuates with the Consumer Price Index, or CPI, for the Los Angeles region. Between 2020 and 2023, Crimson's average annual payment was $3,420.62. The new franchise terms and conditions are based on the 1981 terms and conditions, However, language has been amended and added to multiple sections to include simple procedures to protect the city from liability, and most significantly, to change how the annual payment is calculated and increased by a fixed 3.5% and not according to the CPI. Crimson's first annual payment under the new franchise will be $8,070 and will increase 3.5% each year thereafter. To grant Crimson a 10-year franchise, the city must make the following actions listed in the Public Utilities Code, Section 6201 et sec. Adopt a resolution of intent to grant the franchise, which must include the date, time, and place for a public hearing at which all protests and objections may be heard. Publish a notice of the public hearing in a newspaper of general circulation 15 days after the resolution of intent is adopted. Hold the public hearing to introduce the ordinance to grant the renewal of the franchise agreement and consider all protests and objections not less than 20 days or more than 60 days after the resolution of intent is adopted. Pursuant to the Public Utilities Code, the resolution of intent must be adopted before moving forward with the franchise agreement. If the resolution of intent is adopted, the proposed uncodified ordinance will be presented to the City Council for consideration on May 21st, 2024 as a public hearing item. If and once approved, the uncodified ordinance will be presented to the City Council on June 18th, 2024 for approval and adoption. Once this ordinance is published, Crimson has 30 days to file a written acceptance of the franchise and agreement to the terms and conditions with the City Clerk. This item has a positive financial impact on the city. Payments made on the city-granted franchises are placed in the general fund. This concludes the presentation.